Keir Starmer is facing one of the toughest moments of his leadership. After a shocking terror attack on a Manchester synagogue, the UK Prime Minister has called on pro-Palestine protesters to show respect and rethink their demonstrations this weekend. But what started as a call for peace has now exploded into political chaos. At the same time, Starmer's government is pushing forward a controversial new digital ID plan known as the BritCard, a move that has set off a nationwide debate over privacy, control, and civil liberties. Supporters say Starmer is showing real leadership in a tense moment for the country. Critics, however, believe this is the start of Big Brother Britain. Tonight, we're breaking down everything that's happening: the attack, the protests, the backlash, and what this could mean for Starmer's future as leader of the United Kingdom. Earlier this week, tragedy struck when a synagogue in Manchester was attacked during Yom Kippur, one of the most sacred days in the Jewish calendar. The attack left multiple people injured and communities across Britain shaken. Within hours, Keir Starmer condemned the violence, called it an attack on all British values, and promised immediate protection for Jewish areas across the country. He ordered police to increase patrols around synagogues and Jewish schools, and he urged pro-Palestine demonstrators to consider the grief of the Jewish community before taking to the streets. At first, many saw his message as compassionate and balanced, but it didn't take long for the internet to split in two. Some praised Starmer for standing firm and defending national unity, while others accused him of using the tragedy to suppress political protest. Pro-Palestine groups quickly responded, saying cancelling or limiting protests would hand victory to terror. They argue that the right to protest is a cornerstone of democracy, and that peaceful demonstrations should never be silenced. Meanwhile, Jewish community leaders have been calling for calm. They say these large-scale protests, coming so soon after an anti-Semitic attack, can create fear and tension in already traumatized neighborhoods. Social media is now flooded with videos from both sides, huge police deployments, streets packed with demonstrators, and endless debates over whether Starmer has gone too far. He's walking a very thin line. If he acts too softly, he's accused of weakness. If he acts too firmly, he's branded authoritarian. But just as this controversy was heating up, Starmer's government added more fuel to the fire by unveiling the BritCard, a national digital ID system. On paper, it's designed to make life easier. One card for your ID, healthcare, travel, and public services. Starmer insists it will help fight benefit fraud, improve border security, and modernize outdated systems. But not everyone's buying it. Civil liberties groups are calling this a massive overreach, a step toward a surveillance state where every move, transaction, and record could be tracked by the government. Critics warn that this kind of system could easily be abused and say BritCard is a dangerous experiment with citizens' privacy. Even some members inside the Labour Party are uneasy, comparing it to Tony Blair's failed ID card project from nearly 20 years ago. One MP reportedly said, "You can't preach freedom on Monday and introduce digital tracking on Friday." The backlash has been swift. Petitions demanding the cancellation of BritCard have already gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures, and the hashtag #StopBritCard is trending across X and TikTok. For Keir Starmer, this has turned into a full-blown political storm. Opposition leaders like Nigel Farage and the Reform UK party are accusing him of betraying British values. The Conservatives say his government is criminalising dissent while failing to fix the real issues, from the economy to the NHS. Even inside his own party, the pressure is building. Some MPs warn that Starmer's heavy-handed approach could cost Labour support among young voters and progressives who once saw him as a defender of rights. Polls are already showing a small dip in approval ratings, especially among those worried about privacy and government control. And political commentators are saying it outright. You can't govern by control when people feel unheard. This whole controversy is more than just a clash over protests or ID cards. It's a test of how Britain defines freedom in an age of fear and technology. Starmer is betting that most citizens will back strong leadership and tighter security. But if he's wrong, this could be the beginning of a serious political downfall. The coming days will be crucial. Will Starmer push ahead with BritCard, or will the public backlash force him to back down? And how will his stance on the protests shape his image as Prime Minister? One thing's for sure, UK politics hasn't been this volatile in years. The balance between freedom and control is being rewritten right before our eyes. So what do you think? Is Keir Starmer protecting democracy or crossing the line into government overreach? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Because this story is far from over, and the next few days could change everything in British politics.